So let's talk a little bit about Atlanta, and in terms of mainly the Georgia Dome, the last game that the Falcons are going to be playing there. Do you have any great memories from anything that's been played there, or the Falcons' time there in your mind?
Yeah, the Georgia Dome has a great deal of history in it. It had 2 Super Bowls. It had 3 Final Fours. It has served the city of Atlanta very well. It's a bit of an eyesore when you get into it, but you love it, right? I was there last week for the divisional round game. There were so many Atlanta dignitaries there, if you will. You had Ludacris and Usher. Ludacris performed at halftime, and Usher was just kind of there chewing on a cigar, probably inebriated. You had Big Boy from Outkast in the stands. Future, the rapper, obviously with the Russell Wilson thing going on, and Michael Vick was in the building. And I think, and part of my story really talks about how the Falcons have tried to reclaim their fan base post-Vick since 2007. And, when he came back to the Dome as the Eagles quarterback in 2009, he was booed mercilessly. And then a couple weeks ago in the regular season finale, he comes back, walks out onto the field, and he's cheered very loudly. And so, time has really healed a lot of wounds there in Atlanta. There were some really raw feelings in the years after Vick's conviction. And now, 10 years later, he is warmly accepted back in Atlanta.
Who is the most popular Falcon, at least these days?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, Matt Ryan is a super nice guy, but it's not like he has really just, taken the city of Atlanta by storm. I think Julio Jones would have that potential, but he's just that quiet star receiver. We don't really have those kind of guys. They're supposed to be divas, and he just does not want that spotlight at all. So who's the most popular one right now? I don't know. I mean, if you go by the cheers in the Georgia Dome the last couple of weeks, Matt Ryan and the MVP chants, but when Vick was brought out there a couple of weeks ago, it was rocking in the Dome.
Where's Deion on that list?
Deion has kind of, they enjoyed Deion. They only had 1 winning season with Deion. And so I think that his part in Atlanta has been a little conflated. Of course, he played with the Braves and split his time there. But, Deion is such an omnipresent force that it would seem like he was a much bigger deal. But really, I mean, those birds and even the 98 Super Bowl run, which he wasn't a part of, those never equated to the early to mid-2000 Michael Vick Falcons.
All right, so in terms of the game on Sunday, the over-under, I think, is 60.5 points, something crazy like that. You talked about how it's going to be a shootout. What do you think the point total actually comes to?
Yeah, I'm bad at math, but if you add 38 and 35 together, I really feel like it's going to be one of those kind of scores where it's just touchdown, 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 and then in the fourth quarter, one of those 2 quarterbacks gets their team across midfield, and it's either Mason Crosby making a clutch game-winning field goal or it's Matt Bryant making a clutch game-winning field goal. I think that we're going to get a classic to send the Georgia Dome out on Sunday.